I was bringing that up because we want to talk about the home run derby last night. Anyone who saw that, look, they're debating now whether or not it was the best home run derby ever. To me, there's no debate. I mean, Vlad Guerrero Jr., a rookie, 20 years old, the youngest player ever to be in the home run derby, hits 91 home runs total, right?
That's crazy to
That's
hear.
30 more than the previous record. Giancarlo Stanton in 2016 has 61. 30 more. So to me, there's no debate whether or not it was the best home run derby. That's almost like 30 more, Matt, would almost be like somebody we've grown accustomed to, you know, the big deal in the dunk contest is if you go from the foul line.
Mm-hmm.
This would almost be like somebody
line,
going from the three-point line or the top of the key or something, like 91, and then he doesn't even win.
That's what makes that's the buildup. I'm so disappointed I missed it. I was my first day back and I didn't have my boys. So we went miniature golfing and stuff, but I was thinking in the back of my mind like, damn, I'm missing the home run derby.
Yo.
But to hear 30 more than anyone else has ever hit, and then he didn't win, so it was really obviously building up the suspense throughout the whole thing, and they found something because. You know, all-stars in all major sports really kind of hit a snag. Like football, people don't really care about the Pro Bowl anymore at all.
That's the worst one.
You know what I mean? And then, so they're saying the dunk contests are boring. Three-point contest is always entertaining, but it's just hard to kind of hit, you know, no pun intended, but get a good thing going. And it sounds like with the home run derby, they found that.
No, they definitely did. And I went going in, now Pete Alonso, the rookie for the New York Mets, who broke Darryl Strawberry's home run record for a rookie already. It was 26, I believe, by Strawberry. What's he got? 29, something like that, Pete Alonso. So we know it's the juiced ball era and all that. But anyway, he won it, which was great. Mm-hmm. But going in, I was like, the best thing for baseball would be if Vlad Guerrero Jr. won it, because baseball needs stars.
Absolutely. All sports.
Right. And well, I think in your sport, basketball
is driven.
I think, like, I contend, and I don't know how you felt about him, but I contend that David Stern was the best commissioner in American sports history. I know he ruled with an iron fist. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the NBA has so many more obstacles to overcome than other sports. Baseball is America's pastime. Right. You know, football is what it was.
Basketball dealt with a lot.
Right.
And Stern cleaned it up and definitely left it in great hands with Adam Silver.
And the way he did it was by marketing individual stars.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think every team now, so the Kings, they're okay. But whether I like the Kings or think they're any good, I want to go see De'Aaron Fox.
Absolutely.
You know, Phoenix doesn't win. I want to see Devin Booker, though.
No question.
Right? So there's every team.
That's what saves bad teams. That's
right.
what saves bad teams in bad markets is, you know, they're still going to get a respectable, you know, maybe a few extra games, and people are going to come because they want to see that particular player.
Yep. So that's what baseball needs. And I think Vlad Jr. could become that guy. But it's also important for the sport to market these individuals.
Right. No, I mean, it's huge. And I think you use basketball as an example. It's a players' league more than ever. And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
I think the owners are, you know, the power, everything is shifted, and it's really up to the players now. You see with all the movement in basketball. But like I said, people want to see. That's why basketball's talked about so much now, and it's continuing to gain ground on baseball, is because like they want to see where these players are going to, you know, take their talents and go with them. And it's because we promote individualism along with team. You know, there's still huge loyal followings, obviously, but when superstars move, you gain fans.
So let me ask you, you were a guy that was a role player. When you have individual stars, does that change the dynamic at all of a team? When one guy, because of his celebrity, I won't even throw out his salary, but just his celebrity, the power that certain superstars have, how does that make it tough at all to have a team dynamic like
no, I don't think
you
so.
had in college, high school, all that?
I don't think so. I think it's actually cool because you get more behind the scenes of really kind of seeing what that life is like. Mm-hmm. You know, I got Allen Iverson had an amazing following. You know what I mean? Amazing following.
Doubt.
And I play with him. You know, I played with Shaq. I played with Kobe. I got to play with this Warrior team. You know, our Clipper team with Lob City, you know, we had a huge following. So when I play for the Lakers, it's just always a loyal, so it's just
Right.
like to be able to see that is really cool, and it's because of the stars.
So when you say following, and it just obviously I know a lot of the teams you played for, but just what you said, it reminded me of how many superstars you played with.
Wow, man, a lot.
I mean, you played with some.
a lot of Hall of Famers.
Right. Like and iconic, not just all stars,
No,
but iconic.
some of the greatest to ever do it.
So when you say following, kind of tell me what you mean.
Like people, I mean, obviously at the you hear the people are waiting at the hotels. Like there'd be roped off lines because people are waiting at hotels
at night.
Yeah,
because you guys fly at night after
and it'd
the
be
game.
crazy. Like 3 o'clock in the morning. We had like weird stuff. And I always used to wonder like how they, because sometimes we change hotels and stuff, but I always wonder how they found out. But they must have had an inside source at the hotels. But no,
fans find out.
But it's there. It's after shoot around. People are outside the the facility or place. It's just to have like a rock star or be on one of those great teams. It's different because I've been on bad teams where people could care less if we came and gone. You know what I mean? So playing with the stars, great. I've played with a lot of them, and I really enjoyed my experience.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like. That makes it, even if you're not the star, it just must be fun being a part of the
absolutely.
circus.
Just to see,
right?
just to see what it is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Getting some of it too.
Oh, absolutely. You know what I mean? And me being someone that was kind of always in the mix, I was never a star, but wherever I went, I started.
Right.
So I was always in the mix. So just to be able to, I gained a lot of fans, obviously, off those superstar players.
Is that better? Like, look, obviously, I do TV, and so you get a little degree of fame.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, people ask me, well, what's it like, people see you and knows. And I say, for me, like the level I'm at is like perfect. Because I get enough attention where it's flattering, but it's not overdone where I can't go out and do what I want to do. And, whereas a LeBron James or Allen, they can't go
they
anywhere.
Can't. Yeah, and I agree with you from a similar standpoint because
That's what I was going to ask you.
I freely move, you know what I mean? And I do my own grocery shopping. Like yesterday we went to miniature golf and it was just, and you get surrounded and you get pictures and everything, but it's not to the level those guys would get, you know what I mean? So it's just, I wouldn't want more because it's already, at times I'm just like, damn. But then me having the reputation I had when I played, I show people I'm not, I'm just out and competitive, but I'm really a cool, down-to-earth person. So I'm always taking pictures. I'm always signing stuff. So it's just sometimes it gets tiring. You know what I mean? But I couldn't imagine to another level where you have to travel with security because I just like to move around.
Right. And that's what the stars that you play, like AI, they have.
You can't just, it's tough. You know what I mean? If you sneak into a grocery store late at night or something, you know what I mean? So I couldn't imagine what, they would have to go through. It's a lot, especially this day and age of social media where it's just, you're everywhere.
Somebody might be videotaping or filming you with their phone and you have no idea.
Right.
Have any of them shared, you don't have to say names, but shared with you, that it is tough? Are there some that just don't like it at that level, or do they all seem to enjoy it?
I just think they understand it comes with the territory. Like any person, we're still human. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, even though, those guys made a ton of money, I made good money. It's just it comes with the territory, So you're gonna catch us on good and bad days. Some days you'll get a no, some days you'll get a yet. But we're human still, and I never want people to forget that. You know what I mean? Because we still go through the roller coasters of life, but we always have to be on when we're in public. You know what I mean? And the one time you say no, you're the biggest jerk ever.
Exactly.
So it's tough. But I just want like people remember like athletes are still human, even so on a larger scale, always being swarmed, it's hard to handle. I can only imagine.
A friend of mine was telling me recently, he was like, human beings aren't meant for an inordinate amount of praise or an inordinate amount of criticism. Where it's just ridiculous.
Right.
And so if you get too much praise, you can get the big head. You can just start thinking much more of yourself than you should. And if you get too much criticism and you pay attention to it, that's really the key.
Yeah.
Then it can really harm you.
It's tough because we live in a day and age now where it's more acceptable to, like, people want to criticize more than show love. You know what I mean?
Doubt.
So that's why I go out of my way on social media and life to really show love to these players, and because people don't understand how hard it is what professional athletes are doing at the level they're doing it at. We're so, these guys are so good and play so long, everyone thinks they can do it. Like, it's not that easy. And they would rather hate on, So you're missing out on LeBron's greatness, KD's greatness, Steph's greatness, just because you hate the fact that, you'd rather hate.
Right.
Instead of just appreciate what you're seeing, man. It's
and
crazy
it's interesting because we, with the whole debate TV and radio show, like, we've played a role.
Oh, there's no question.
Because when I meet people now, everybody got a take.
Everybody does.
Everybody's got a take.
And anyone can be a reporter because, you film the right thing and it goes viral. Now you're somebody. It's a crazy world, man.
No doubt. All right, my man Rob Parker says last night's home run derby officially killed the slam dunk contest. What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, doing great. How you guys doing? What's up, Matt?
Rob, what's going on, man?
I haven't heard you this calm since we started the show.
Yeah, no, I'm in the press box.
I was gonna say,
I got to keep it to a certain level, so I can't go crazy. I don't want everybody to be mad at me.
Well, word is you've got a hot take, of course, and you want to praise baseball and diss basketball. So go ahead.
It's just
I saw your article in the shadowleague.com. So go ahead.
It's right on the money. I mean, let's just admit it. Last night, the slam dunk contest was officially dead on arrival.
Stop it.
It is now all about the home run derby. And let me tell you something. If you watched the ounce of it yesterday, it was riveting.
It was great. I'll give you it. It was great.
It really was. And to see those young guys, Pete Alfonso and, of course, Vlad Guerrero Jr. do their thing in the finals. When you think about these guys are both rookies. Vlad is 20, who's the youngest to ever take part in the home run derby, and the guy hit a total of 91 home runs. The crowd was crazy. It really was a spectacle. Might have been one of the best I've ever seen.
Rob, I unfortunately missed it, but I'm someone who grew up playing baseball, loved baseball. I can't give a yes or no on that take yet because I didn't get a chance to see it, but I am someone who thinks that the dunk it's tough. Every dunk has pretty much been done. So, the creativity is kind of out the window. But with the home run derby, to hear that someone hit 91 home runs and didn't win, you can tell it was a suspenseful thing, no matter how long it lasted. And we were talking earlier, I kind of feel like, all-star events for all major sports aren't what they used to be. You know what I mean? So if you found something with the home run derby that's won and it's really drawing the praise it has, I'm all for it.
Yeah, and you know what? The other part, too, and Matt, you're right. The All-Star games are hard for people to get, especially in basketball, where we're seeing scores. Chris and I talk about this all the time. Almost into 200. That's not basketball.
Right. We're going to hit 200 soon.
Right. It's going to be. It's been like 189 or something. It was ridiculous scores. And the NHL is scoring 11 or 12 goals, which is nothing close to real hockey. And obviously we've seen the Pro Bowl, which is a bore. So it is hard. The one thing I will say is the only difference that baseball has going for it is that they do play the game the regular way. Nobody throws underhand or tries to let guys hit it. Do you know what I mean?
Will you stop it?
What?
I mean, God goodness. Look, they're all bad, including baseball. I mean,
no.
If you didn't know, he praises baseball. He never has a negative word to say about baseball.
That's not true. And I'll say this. That's not true because I have been upset with baseball, but I can't figure out what I'm going to say now about it. But I'm just going to say, what they've done though. This whole last couple of days here has been incredible, and then tonight they're honoring CC Sabathia, which I think is a really nice touch. Yeah. This is where he started his career, 7.5 years with the Indians. Remember they had those great teams. Mm-hmm. Chris, you noticed they sold out 460 straight games in Cleveland. And they never won a World Series, but this is CC's last year, and baseball thought this would be great to honor him. He's not an all-star, but they brought him to honor him, and this kind of reminds me of when the NBA brought back Magic Johnson. Do you remember that in Orlando?
Right.
And he wound up winning the MVP. Yep. I covered that all-star, and I thought it was just a nice touch, and I think baseball got it right by doing that with CC.
Rob, I was saying going into the home run derby that, and I think you and I talked about it, the best thing for baseball would have been if Vlad had won. I actually think it was something we couldn't have foreseen became even better was that the other rookie, Pete Alonso, won, but Vlad shined too because he broke the record by 30, right? So can Vlad become kind of that? I mean, they're going to need several stars, of course, But do you think he can become a superstar that baseball needs?
I think he can from two things. His bloodline, everybody knows his dad, who was a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
He was one of the most anticipated rookies and whatnot when he first came. You remember his first at-bats, I think ESPN cut in to show his at-bat, if you remember. We were watching. And so that tells you about the radar was on him, and so far he's performed. Now, this is what I love also, is that even though he only had 8 home runs since he's been called up, baseball recognized the talent to say he should be in the home run derby contest. Do you know, normally with 8 home runs, they're not giving you that opportunity.
Right.
So they noticed it, and they said, this guy's a star. We got to get him in the ball. And it wound up paying off. And I think most people who left last night, even though he didn't win, he did win in a lot of people's eyes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, baseball just, man, it was so awesome that they recognized that. I mean, golly, how'd they do that? Like, it's incredible. I mean, baseball is just so far ahead of everybody else.
Well, whatever. Let's not get into all that.
All right, man. Great job. Enjoy the game, all right? I know you will. And have you enjoyed my town, Cleveland?
Oh, yeah. No, I've actually enjoyed it a lot, man. Just eating too much. I'm telling you, it's been a bad place.
Oh, you not on your diet? You off your...
No, I'm on a diet, but I slipped once or
It's
twice.
a meat diet, so it's a good...
Oh, man.
It is, right?
And the other part is...
Hey, wings, wings on Friday when you're in, because Rob G, of course, lost the bet about Kawhi going to the Lakers.
And
so
you
we
lost
got
the
plenty
bet
of
too.
wings. Well, I said he was going to the Clippers.
Me and you, we
didn't have a bet.
Clippers?
No, I did. That was my bet with Rob G. It was months ago, but he held me to it.
Okay, and he owes me wings as well.
Yeah, so we have plenty of
I
wings
had the
in
field. That sounds good. All right, and I'm gonna get to you when we get back. We'll talk about the Clippers and how I'm predicting them not to only get to the finals, but to win the finals in Kawhi's first year in LA.
All right. We will do that. All right, man. Always
All right,
good
guys,
to talk
thank
with
you.
you. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
What do you think about star power in the NBA and in Major League Baseball? And can Vlad Guerrero Jr., fresh off that historic home run derby performance, be the star to bring baseball back? Let's start with Jacob in Los Angeles. Jacob, welcome to the Odd Couple.
How's it going, Chris? Thanks for taking my call.
Yep, no problem.
You know, I think there's some stars in baseball you're overlooking to have star power. Guys this year like Yelich and Cody Bellinger, guys like that. I want to see what your opinion is.
They're having great years. Well, they're having great years. Have they captured the national consciousness, though? That's the thing. I agree. I mean, Mike Trout, of course, is a superstar, but he hasn't been able to capture the national consciousness because he's just such a quiet guy. I mean, most people think of Bryce Harper as, almost, I'd say Bryce Harper and Aaron Judge as the faces of baseball, but Judge, of course, has been hurt, and Bryce didn't even make the All-Star team. So no doubt Bellinger and Yelich are phenomenal.
All right, Chris, thanks for taking my call, bud.
Yep, let's go to Dante in Las Vegas. Dante, you're on with Chris and Matt.
Yeah, man. Hey, Mike Trout's the best baseball player baseball's ever seen. And to say he hasn't captured the national conscience, I think a little crazy because I think most people know that. The only reason that Mike Trout doesn't have the shine that he deserves is because he hasn't won that World Series. He hasn't got the playoff experience. And that's just because the team, baseball is more of a team sport than, say, basketball.
Well, I do think baseball is a sport where you don't measure guys by their rings, right? Because you could hit 470 homers a year, and if you don't have the pitching, you might not even make the playoffs, right? So we don't judge baseball by rings. Barry Bonds has none. He's the best baseball player I've ever seen in my life. But Trout, still, I mean, we're talking about the NBA. Think of most of the TV talk shows, Dante. What are they talking? Football and basketball. Think about it. Both networks, Fox, ESPN. How much baseball talk do you really see?
Oh, no, baseball doesn't get the coverage it deserves. But you said Mike Trout's the quiet guy and he doesn't get the shine. Kawhi Leonard's a quiet guy, and that's anyone he's talking about right now.
Right, and that's what I think. That's why I think basketball just has been able to kind of capture the national spotlight in a way that baseball hasn't. I think it's because of the stars in basketball.
I think the NBA has done a unique job. We talked about it with David Stern, making individuals, but still also promoting the team. And I think, the caller's right, the fact that baseball is more promoted as a team sport than an individual sport. But our argument was, we feel like if there were more superstars, it would, it would draw the fan back in, and it would help the fan base more.
I want to see more personality of the players.
Right.
Let them down. Now they're letting you flip the bat, I guess. So let guys do that. Let maybe. If guys want to wear their pants up to their knees, they can do that, but just something that show their individuality. That's what you have in basketball is guys, their personality to some degree. They get to show it. I think baseball needs that too. Ed in Michigan, you're on with Chris and Matt.
Hello. The problem is you don't talk about baseball as much. It never left. It takes something like the home run derby to bring the nation's attention to the game. Another key to baseball's quote-unquote rise is the people coming up, like the Pete Alonsos, all these rookies, all these young kids from Vanderbilt.
Let me ask you this, Ed. You make a good point, because you're right. I mean, we, on this show, we talk more baseball than most national radio shows. Rob loves baseball. I like it. And so we talk it more. We don't talk it a lot. I'll give you that. But we do talk it more than most. Do you think the fact that they play so many games, they essentially play every day, 162 games, that has something to do with it? That why it doesn't get talked about as much? Because every game obviously doesn't have the same sense of urgency?
Well, when you take a look at the standings, granted, you've got the NL Central that is anybody's. But you got Los Angeles, Houston, and the Yankees who were running away with it. Don't forget the Twins. That's what hurts baseball, is these big, wide margins. And the casual fan, doesn't exactly pay attention to it because it's a foregone conclusion that the Twins, the Yankees, the Astros, and the Dodgers are already basically in the playoffs.
I think a big part of it, and I know this will never happen, and they've talked about in the NBA, maybe they'll shorten the season. I wish they'd shorten baseball to 100 games.
It's a long – I love baseball. Played it growing up. Like I said, still play softball. It's just a long game with not a lot of action.
Right.
There's not a lot of action. You know what I mean? So with basketball, it's constant up and down. Even with football, there's big plays. But a baseball game is so long, and it could be, but now with all the home runs they're hitting, you can't necessarily say that. But overall, just the idea of a 2.5, 3 hour baseball game, I'd rather watch a basketball game with more action within that time.
And in between the home runs, there aren't as many singles. Right. There aren't the stolen bases there used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see somebody steal. Can you 100 bases in the season? That's like almost impossible now. But something like that. Let's go to Mark in Sacramento. You're on with Chris and Matt.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's happening, man? How are you?
Pretty good. Real quick, I think out of all the athletes in all the leagues, the basketball players are better social media wise, and I think that pulls in an enormous amount of fans that baseball doesn't get.
Yep.
No, there's definitely truth. That pulls in the casual fans for sure.
Right. I just think like everyone wants to know what players are really like, behind the scenes. Do you see us, going about our job and seeing that? But what are they like off the court, off the field? How do they react? And I think there's no better sport that portrays that, like you just said, as the NBA does.
That's the total truth, Matt. Like when I was writing stories, if I wrote a feature story on you, I would want to tell the reader what you're like away from basketball.
Right.
Like, what's it like to be with you at your house or, out to restaurant, whatever. And that's what social media allows you to do. And the NBA players are great at that.